Well, hello again, and welcome to the car, really. So what am I doing today is probably the best way to start this. Well, I'm down here in a place called Kilmore Quay, which is in Wexford, to do something I wanted to do for a very long time. And I've tried to do many times, and that quite hasn't worked out just yet. But today I'm very hopeful, very hopeful. I'm going to try today to see and photograph up close and personal puffins, and actually get a really decent shot of puffins up close for the first time. I love photographing birds and wildlife. It's one of my favourite types of photography, and you don't get to do it a huge amount in London. I've always wanted to photograph puffins. Like, I've seen these incredible photos, video, images, and I've always really wanted to photograph them for myself. So this is future Ronan here from a couple months ahead, just to speed the video up a bit. Past Ronan's about to spend the next 10 minutes going into detail that he's already gone into in a previous video from this trip home to Ireland. So I'll put the link below if you want to kind of see some past attempts and see the outcome of past attempts to photograph puffins in Ireland over the last couple of years. Feel free to give it a look. It kind of gives a bit more context as to why this particular day was quite a big day for me, and why it's a bucket list item. Good video too, apart from that. And yeah, I'll let Past Ronan get back to talking about the day's events. Hope you enjoy. So ultimately, it's kind of been a bit of they've kind of been haunting me and almost toying with me. I mean, they're not literally toying with me. It's not their fault at all, but I'm still here. I'm still without that puffin photo. And so that is what today's about, really. The Saltee Islands are two small islands off the coast of Wexford on the sunny southeast of Ireland. And I'm going to take a ferry out to them. You can get onto the island. They at tops of the cliffs. Apparently the paths take you very close, obviously being respectful and not getting too close to the birds as they're nesting and disturbing them. But the hope is that, like, having spoken to a couple of people, read some online reviews and seen photos from here, that I should be able to get the photo that I want. Granted, I don't have the most amount of kit. So I've got this with me, the XT4 and the 16mm for filming. And then the big bad boy is this 70-300. That's what I'm hopefully going to use to get close enough, and hopefully isolate them enough and just be able to stay far enough away from them that I can get the shots that I want. That's the hope of today. Otherwise, it's another island to explore. I love ferries. I love taking boats. I love being by the seaside. And I've got about half an hour, 35 minutes before the ferry's due to go, so I'm gonna get ready. It looks nice and windy out. Sea doesn't look too rough. I'm gonna walk around. This is a beautiful little town as well. Might try to find a coffee before going. Wish me luck, really. Fingers crossed, I'll be back in this car telling you about it later on. See you later. Due to the windy conditions that morning, and earlier ferries being delayed by the rougher seas, our ferry was delayed by about an hour. While unfortunate, it gave us some time to explore and discover the sights and scenes of the working harbour of Kilmore Quay. I'd been here almost a decade earlier with my family, and it felt like stepping back in time a bit, but seeing it through a much different lens this time round. After a short wait, we were underway. As we left the harbour, my nerves really began to set in. The anticipation grew, and my excitement with it. Inevitably self-inflicted, my nerves were due to the number of attempts previously, and the disappointment and the frustration at each time previous when I hadn't got that shot that I wanted. And while it's hard not to focus on that and make everything goal-orientated and destination-orientated, it was something I was aware of. Thankfully, the seas were in block calmer than we expected, the winds a lot less, and after a short ferry ride followed by the splashy ride in a dinghy and a short walk through shallow waters to the island, we had made it to the Great Saltee Island. How you doing? I was really fortunate to meet some lovely people while waiting for the boat. who brought me along showed me the correct path to take to the far side of the island where the puffins typically nested. Reassuring both me and my internal nerves. They almost promised me that I would see puffins. Did I believe them? Absolutely not. But it was great to hear. It did make me feel a lot calmer. The sight and the sound and the smell of thousands of seabirds that greeted us managed to calm my nerves as well, relax me, and made me feel truly at home. The Saltee Islands are truly an uninhabited oasis, free of most humans, bar those who travel to visit the island like this. It's a very tranquil and beautiful and raw place. After a short walk along the cliffs, discovering some areas, I was very fortunate not to have to wait very long to see what I'd have hoped to see all along. I'm here on the path. Obviously it's 24 minutes. It's just there. It's right there. Early signs are great, but what the next few hours would bring would truly blow my mind. I was speechless, utterly, incredibly taken aback at every turn on this island. Everywhere I looked, there was puffins. I couldn't help feel just incredibly lucky. I spent the first hour or two just taking a photo of everything that moved near me, excitedly capturing any moment I could in case it was the last, and yet more kept coming. Worried that these birds would fly off and never return, I just couldn't help myself taking every photo, taking every image. And it was incredible. After the initial excitement and surprise and just adoration wore off, I finally settled into a rhythm of thinking about things, composing, working on composition and the images. It was pretty overwhelming. I'd spent so many times, so many hours, driven so many miles to try and capture these images, to be fortunate enough to see these beautiful birds. The Atlantic puffin comes to land 3 months of the year to make its nest, to lay its eggs, to raise its young. And to think that I was privileged enough to get within a couple of feet at times of them, it's something I'll never forget. See, I'm not sure if I just caught the end of that by accident, but I'm gonna have some food and then I'm gonna crack on, because I'm just having the best time taking photos of puffins. See you in a bit. While this moment may not be the most photographically dense or photographically orientated, it's one of those moments that I think will live with me forever. I set up my camera, sat down to have some lunch, and just in the hope of having just a short 10-second clip, and yet as I sat there in my thought trying to process what I'd seen, my thoughts were interrupted and joined by some puffins, incredibly curious puffins, and yeah. How lucky was I? And that's the overwhelming feeling from that day, was gratefulness, gratitude, and also in a way relief. I'm no wildlife photographer. I don't claim to be. And I will never be. But I'm just, to be honest, yeah, I'm so proud of the photography, even the videography from this day, and the images I captured and the moments that were caught on camera. And if for no one else, for myself. This day, in its simplest form, was about photography. Selfish photography for me, but that's the best kind, I think. So yeah, got about an hour left until the boat ferry comes picks up. The light, as you can see, hasn't really been, it's been quite overcast, just shallow, low cloud, diffused lighting. So light hasn't been amazing. It hasn't been very bad though. It's been quite nice and diffused, so it hasn't been too bad. But I can't really overstate how incredible it is. Yeah, it's been a really good day. Yeah, I'm kind of blown away. In all honesty, it's just been incredible. Conditions are great. I mean, they're not amazing, but they're not bad. They're summertime flowers, all these purpley, pinky, white flowers, and the grass is very green, and it's just stunning. It's just really, really beautiful. And the birds are just great. They just sit there and they let you take photos of them after photo after photo, and they just go about their day, and they're just really funny to look at. It's been a really good day. Yeah, I can't wait to share some of these. I've kind of been a bit fixated on a couple of areas because of the puffins, so I haven't really explored too much of the island, which I think if I had the whole day here, I think if I do come back I will. I'm going to go for a bit more of a walk now, also find somewhere to pee because I'm dying for a pee. It's just been a really, really good day. Hopefully, yeah, you like the photos. Hopefully I like the photos, more importantly, and hopefully they've come out all right and the videos come out okay. And yeah, I'm feeling very fortunate right now. Hope you guys have enjoyed today. Hope you guys have enjoyed the video as such, and I hope you stick around for more. This is just a really, really good day. Really lovely. I'm very, very happy with myself. I love puffins. Puffins are class. With only just under the hour until the ferry was due to depart, and not wanting to get stranded on the island, I thought it was best that I headed back. I would have loved to spend all evening, sunsets, a night on this island, be there for sunrise, but unfortunately on this occasion that wasn't possible. On the way back, discovered a couple more Puffins and 33mm f1.4 lens on the front of my XT4. And honestly, I never thought I was going to be able to capture some Puffin photography at 1.4 on a 50mm lens, essentially. And this was weirdly one of my favourite moments because of how kind of silly it seems, or just how, yeah, just a bit mad. Like this image and the next one are one of my favourites because of how ludicrous the idea is that I could shoot or capture Puffins at 1.4. So the island has a throne, and it dates back to the owner of the island wanting to be calling himself king and not being allowed, and building a throne anyway, so I thought, why not sit on it? I'm glad I did. Yeah, well, I'm not really sure there's much to say, really. That was, I mean, it's probably my favourite day of photography I've ever had. I'm not sure if and when that might be beaten. That was pretty special. As I mentioned too many times, I just feel so incredibly grateful and lucky to have had that experience or had that opportunity. I purposefully didn't go into a lot of detail about the photography, the composition, because honestly I felt that I wouldn't do it justice. The video would become way too long. It's already probably long enough. But I think I wanted the video and the images and the video I captured to speak for itself. Let me know down below in the comments if you would like me to kind of go through some of the techniques I used while photographing these puffins, any of the images themselves, or just, yeah, I can talk through composition. I think this was one of the first times I took a really active approach in my composition and really, really broke it down while doing wildlife photography in particular. So I think I might make a video kind of going through some of those composition techniques, because I found, as always with my own thoughts in photography, once I spoke them aloud to myself and really broke things down, it really helped. And which led to some of my favourite images I've ever taken. It's probably the correct way of saying that. As always, thanks for getting to this point. If you have, thanks so much for watching in any capacity. And if you've liked or commented, I can't thank you enough. And if you've subscribed, you're very, very kind. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Have a lovely day.